Dallas County Commissioner for District 2, J.J. Koch. He has been an active member of the Dallas County community for 18 years. He came to Dallas in 2002 after graduating from Duke. He has been with law enforcement. He clerked for the law firm that had the Dallas Police Association as one of their clients. He began his legal career in the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. When he went into private practice, he was with the Dallas FOP. So he's a guy who likes law and order. At least that's what his resume would give me the impression. I have not spoken to JJ myself. Welcome to the program, JJ Koch. I'm sorry, Koch.
Thank you. Koch, it's okay, Glenn. Thank you for having me, and it's great to be able to talk through these issues.
So I'm trying to understand here what is happening with the Dallas Convention Center. We've got 3,000 males apparently could be started to be bussed in as of today. And these are all males that have come from Mexico or someplace south of our border. And they have been caught at the border trying to come into our country illegally. And now, because we don't have space, I guess, we're done flooding all of the communities at the border. We're bringing them to Dallas and putting them in the convention center. How's that process work?
Not well. And I think the first problem is that you're trying to understand it, right? There's no understanding this. This is not a policy. This is something based on emotions. This is Joe Biden from the top saying, hey, listen, we're going to feel good about how generous we are in America. We're going to let all these folks in. If you're an unaccompanied minor and you're at the border, you're coming in without any real policy or planning behind what the implications of that are. And we are seeing the implications in gross detail. They're being delivered to our doorstep here in Dallas County. But, there on the border, you have the administration now trying to cover up and hide the mess that it's made. So when it comes to the mess that's being made here in Dallas County, I'm sure myself and a great many others here in Dallas County are interested in saying, okay, what are we really doing here? And we're going to be asking for transparency. And so far, that's been shortcoming from the feds.
So it's been shortcoming really from a lot of people. We asked the city manager, who did this? Who was involved in this? They're making it appear as though FEMA called the convention center themselves, and it was just between FEMA and the convention center. Nobody had to run this up the flagpole. Do you buy that, JJ?
I buy it in that technically that they can do it like that. But, functionally as a matter of working with your partners and actually getting stuff done, you never, ever do that. You don't blow past your county folks, your city folks, and you most certainly do not blow past your partner at the state level. I mean, I don't care how acrimonious the relationship is between a governor's office and that of the presidency. If you are bringing in FEMA, this is an emergency. This is something that we are saying is important. So if it is so important, you sure as heck better get it right by having all the people there at the table to make it work. And they're not interested in making it work. They got their feel-good sugar rush. We let the people in. We did the thing that all the liberals love. And you know what, Texas, you're just going to have to clean up after the mess.
Well, let's not go to the federal level yet. I kind of want to stay at the local level here. I find it just breathtaking that a city that was arresting literally hairdressers for keeping their business open during COVID is allowing all of these illegals into the center of the city, into our convention center. We don't even know if they were tested. Apparently, those who are testing coming across our border have a high infection rate. Mexico, we know, is looking at a rate of 40% of the population infected. And a city that was arresting hairdressers is bringing 3,000 people into the convention center that let's buy into the bull crap that they've not been tested at all.
Yeah, there's certainly a lack of justice and a lack of moral equivalency, if you will, really doing the moral things with every decision. But to take a step back, that contract, right? So the feds came and asked to use the Kay Bailey Hutchison Center. The Kay Bailey Hutchison Center, in many aspects of itself, is a private entity. It's owned by the city. It's owned by the city, but it acts as a private body. And it's a really firm reminder for those of us that are, consider ourselves conservatives, that governments are not to own things. That needs to be entirely in the hands of a private entity, a convention center, a hotel room. So when things like this happen, you don't have the perversion of what should be a private thing for this public cause. Now, clearly the folks, the city manager, those that were in the city administration, wink and a nod, of course, they were, given the okay by those they care to listen to. So that this type of thing is going to continue to happen unless we do a better job of, constantly bird dogging these issues when our local governments decide to get in private ventures.
Would the city have allowed a hotel to take a bunch of people that were possibly infected and say, we're going to give them the whole hotel, and they've got it for 3 months, and we're not sure if they can come and go, but they're saying that they're not going to. We don't know who's been tested and who isn't. Would our city have allowed, in COVID, with all the restrictions that they've done, would our city allow that if it was private?
I know for a fact the answer is no, because they were pushing back against having the Republican National Convention here for 3 days, not 90 days. And they were doing everything they can to make sure to let folks know that if the convention had to be moved, it was not going to come to Dallas. Dallas was going to do everything they could to stop that from happening. So, the hypocrisy is just astounding. So
what are you doing at the county commissioner level? What can be done?
Ask questions. Make sure that we get the transparency. I mean, this is, merely a county commissioner seat, but I represent, well over 700,000 folks, and they're going to get their answers. And I'm going to keep pushing for those answers. What are we doing with these folks? Where are they going to be after they're here? Who are they really? What kind of testing regime are we going to have? Are they victims? Are they those that are going to victimize those in our population? I want answers. And for the vast majority of folks in my district, they want answers as well.
Well, we sure would like them as well. We seem to be getting the runaround between all of the city agencies and the convention center. The city is putting everything on the convention center, saying that they're handling this just as any other request from any other vendor. But I don't think other vendors say, can we rent it for 3 months and we're going to have all the people that are attending live there, shower there, eat there, go to the bathroom there. I don't think that's a usual contract, but apparently it is, according to the city and the convention center. Do you know when these people are coming in to Dallas? When does this begin?
It should be arriving within the week, which is extremely disturbing because I don't think they have all the things they need stood up already. So, I mean, this is really snake bit from the onset. And I've got, I think we all have a bad feeling about this, but I just think regarding logistics, I'm sure you've been around teenage boys. I don't want to be around 15 teenage boys, let alone 3,000. I mean, they're going to be searching.
Yeah.
I mean, just if we're talking about, normal teenage kids, right? Let's just go under that assumption because, maybe there's plenty of that there. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to be looking for alcohol. They're going to be looking, for women. I mean, these things are going to happen.
What could possibly happen at a convention center, if you're not prepared for it? I mean, does anybody remember the debacle of New Orleans?
Yeah, exactly. And, we've proven some pretty major failures within the city of Dallas when, picking up folks or helping folks that were coming from the coast after hurricanes. So there had been temporary,
yes.
replacements at the Kay Bailey Hutchison Center. But let's be clear, that was very temporary. And usually it was, a processing station. You get people there, you get them, their Red Cross funds, a couple other things, and then they were probably being shipped to hotels and other places once they got themselves, set basically for what the next step would be the next couple of months. But they were there for 5 days in transit.
There's
this was not meant to be a detention center, and it's not going to act as that. It's going to basically, we'll have 3,000 kids dumped there, and maybe 1,000 will be left after the 90 days.
Are they going to be allowed just to come and go as they please?
From what I understand, I think that may be the case.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Because we're not getting answers on the security piece. We're getting the assurances that it's not going to be a strain on DPD. Well, does that mean they're not, barring the doors, if you will? There's still a real question of whether or not everyone in this cohort is actually 15 to 17. I'm sure there's some people that are, the 20-year-old that looks young, and they're going to find themselves in Dallas, and then,
And just as I'm
above age.
Just as I'm sure that there are some really, really good kids in this, there are also really, really bad kids there. And we don't know, are they going to be tested for COVID or not? Do you know?
From what I understand, they're not. I mean, they're citing privacy violations, and, we don't want to get too into their business.
But screw my privacy on COVID.
Yeah, there's a whole host of instances where the federal government stepped right in and said, no, we need to know if you have COVID or not. All right, this is a tremendous double standard again, tremendous hypocrisy. Thank you for, again, letting us know exactly who you are.
It is quite amazing. Thank you so much. We'll be following this, JJ, and if there's any information that you can turn us on to, we sure like to hear it one way or another. I can't believe that the governor's office is not all up in arms on this and stopping this. I mean, this is crazy.
Saw the governor's press conference yesterday live. The governor is not happy about this, but we're in a situation where the federal government is holding a lot of local governments and state governments hostage. There are things they can do to make our lives much more difficult, whether it's holding vaccine or dropping more folks within our cities.
Sure.
So, I'm sure the governor probably has some pretty choice words to use, but has to choose his words carefully unless he wants to, make it worse on the state of Texas.
Well, I would just like to remind the governor and everyone involved in politics all across the country. It is our policy that we do not negotiate with terrorists. And if you are holding a country or a state or a community hostage and forcing them to do something, or you're going to do something terrible to them, no negotiation with you. You've already revealed that you are not an honorable person. This is reprehensible. Reprehensible. Thank you so much, JJ. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
You bet.